Hey everybody, welcome to the National. The biggest card show in the world this year takes place in Cleveland, Ohio at the IX Center. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you an unedited, uncut walk around the entire show. So the goal here was to get it done in 30 minutes, but I went a little bit longer than that. Some people like to walk really slow and get in the way. So I decided to start this video out around 4 p.m. The show runs each day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we're going to start here going right down the middle. Now, to the left earlier, you saw there's another big room over there. That is more tables, along with the autograph sessions for TriStar, along with the kind of like the corporate areas. A whole bunch of businesses have their stuff in there. And we're just going to go ahead and give you just a walking tour here, and I'm not going to really stop at any booth. The goal here is not to stop at any booth. I have other videos coming where I will stop and show you specific cards that I'm interested in. So there you saw that last booth. That guy had some 52 Topps packs. He had a whole bunch of great stuff from 50s and 60s, all sealed. The nice thing about the National is you can find literally anything. If you want a Mickey Mantle 51 Bowman card, which was on my list today, I actually put an offer in for one. I'll tell you if it got accepted or not. You can find multiple copies of that. If you want to pack a 1991 Fleer, they've got that too. So literally everything is here. So here we see a bunch of pictures that you can purchase and take them over to the TriStar booth to get signed. Here's a bunch of baseballs. I think some of these might already be signed. Just amazing, the vast inventory here. Just kind of mind-blowing to think there's probably like how many millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars of merchandise is here. Restrooms are an issue. I did not use the restroom at all while here. I heard that the restrooms were very bad in terms of you had to wait a very long time, and I didn't want to waste any time. I didn't wait in the line at all today. I ate my lunch before I went in. I parked a little bit later, so I wouldn't have to wait in a large line there. There we get a fist bump. Very nice. Thanks to everyone that came up and said hello. Here's a little card wall. It's take a card, leave a card, and it's all junk wax on that ledge, but still a cool idea. There we see the Topps booth right there, and there's more sealed wax. I wonder how many people will see that you might recognize. I noticed a couple influencers walking around. I noticed a couple YouTubers, and including one of Mr. Beast's former castmates was here walking around. Here is the Breaker Redemption, the Wrapper Redemption, where you can turn in your, I guess they cut off the cellophane off of your boxes and they give you some special National packs. That's a pretty awesome deal right there. I didn't do that, but I guess you have to buy your stuff at the show, and I was just more interested in just going around and taking everything in. I think I saw a sign that said no hand cards or dollies or anything like that, so I only had a backpack. I didn't want to be carrying a bunch of cases in here. So here we see blowout cards, which is arguably the biggest third-party seller of sealed wax and cases on the internet, and I buy from them quite often. There's art all over these walls. Here's a kind of a narrow passageway. We got Dave and Adams on the left. They're another one of the big boys. Dave and Adams, Steel City, and blowout cards are probably the big three in no particular order. There's the Hit Parade line. We sneak on by here. Lots of memorabilia is on display all over the place. A lot of it is up for auction, and you can't buy it. You have to just take a note and be like, okay, this item goes on sale September 5th at this site. eBay is, I think, the official sponsor of the National. They're handing out bags, and here is the eBay booth. Earlier, they had Reggie Jackson there opening cards, which was pretty awesome. You'll see that in a separate video. There was a couple characters up there. I don't know who they were exactly at that particular moment that I walked by, but I was kind of in a little bit of a hurry because I wanted to get the whole video done as soon as possible being 30 minutes. Here you see a whole bunch more of the inventory here as we kind of scoot on by. People standing around watching the eBay show. I guess eBay Live is a thing now. Whatnot. Fanatics Live, a whole bunch of live video selling, becoming very popular. There's vintage stuff right here. Tons of vintage, which going into the National, I had a target of 3 cards. I got one of them today. I'll show you which one it was. There's also a whole bunch of, I guess, value bins, 10-cent bins, quarter boxes, dollar boxes are very popular. Didn't have time to sit down and go through any of those, though. In fact, I don't even know if I could have because there were so many people there. Now, the amount of people that you're seeing right now is about half or so, maybe even 3 times less than what I saw when I came in. I got to the National around 11:30 a.m. after I finally got in. Traffic wasn't too bad because I decided to get there a little later. Here we have cases for sale. I thought about going around to each booth. My original plan was I'm going to do a video where I stop at each booth and spend 30 seconds at each booth and just show you what they have. But after I started that idea, I quickly scrapped it because I realized that it would be an impossible task to do, so I figured a walk around would be better. Here is the women's bathrooms. The bathrooms, you go down the stairs and they're at the bottom. There's not a whole lot of ladies at the show. There's maybe one woman for every 20 men or so, I'd say. But so their bathroom situation is not all that bad. But like I said earlier, I heard that the guys had to wait up to an hour in the bathroom lines. I guess yesterday. Here is a bunch more boxes. Some are sorted by team, some are sorted by year, some are sorted by player, some are sorted by price. I like the ones that are sorted by price, and also the ones that are sorted by year if you're putting together a particular set. Here's a buying station. There's buying stations all over the place. I feel like half the people here were just walking around selling their stuff. They all had their cases, and they always were bringing out their stuff like, hey, I've got this. What you buying? What would you offer me? And that's kind of a little annoying for me because as a customer, that takes up the attention. There was a few instances where I wanted a price on a card and I had to wait a few minutes for them to look at something that somebody was offering for sale. But I guess I shouldn't complain. I guess the thing I should complain about is why don't they have their cards priced? I hate that. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when I go to a card show and there's no prices on any of the cards. That was about half the cards here. I had to ask, what's the price on this? What's the price on that? And everything at the National was high. I will tell you that it seemed like if you looked up the comps, everything was slightly over comps, sometimes egregiously over comps. And I think they do that because they're expecting folks to come in with, I guess, competitive offers. So I offered on many cards today, and I only bought one. I'll show you that video tomorrow because that's going to take a little more editing. This is all just one take. I'm actually just hanging out, sitting in my car, took a little rest stop on the way back to Pittsburgh, and I decided to get this one started so I can get this video uploaded for you tonight. All right, so here we just got to work our way, find our way through this little roadblock here and see some more stuff. And it kind of honestly, it gets to be a little redundant if I was showing you what's inside all the cases. It's just amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Like all from the dead ball era, like the early 1900s. Lots of stuff from the 50s and 60s and 70s. Not a whole lot of junk wax here, honestly. I think if I had to pick the decade that was represented the least, it was probably the 90s. There was very, very few 90s cards. And early 2000s, not a whole bunch. 80s, there was some here and there, but a majority of the stuff that I saw on display was stuff like this. You see all that good vintage in there. All those sets, got some set builders right there. Here's a whole bunch more great vintage stuff, and I'll tell you, my game plan going in was pick 3 cards that I wanted and just focus in on those. Otherwise, it gets too overwhelming, and I eventually would start to get tempted by another card because I was kind of getting a little frustrated with my search on a couple of the other ones. So we finally made it to the end of I think the first row. I think I'm going to take these like every other row because otherwise we'd just be here forever. All right, turning the corner. Here we go down the next row here. Looks like the PSA booth is over there. You can also drop your cards off at the National and have them graded on site, and then you can pick them up there. See how long these rows are, folks? A whole bunch of jerseys there. Over on the left, we've got game used memorabilia. Looks like it's going to be some helmets, some football helmets. You can pick those up and get them signed. A whole bunch of those in cases. And on to the next booth. Bunch of cases and sealed stuff. Now tomorrow, I'm going to be at the National again. I'm going to head home tonight, get a good night's sleep, and get up super early tomorrow, and I'll head to the National, and I'll be there for our Whatnot special National live stream. It's supposed to start at 10 a.m. I really hope I can get in and be there on time. There you saw a bunch of sealed wax. Sealed wax is still up in price. It's, you know, it's not quite as high as it used to be, but it's still pretty high. I saw a couple boxes I was interested in. The 1980 Topps box is one that always catches my eye. That box last year at the National was $4,000. This year, I think it was about $3,700. Went down a little bit. Almost bought that one, but ended up buying a couple other things instead, in addition to my one big PC card. Some guys, like that guy right there, like to bring their little, I guess, rolling suitcases, which is probably a good idea. If you're going to be buying boxes, you got a bad back, you're going to buy a lot of cards, don't wear a backpack, just get a little rolling bag, little luggage. That's a good idea. Here's this guy, he's got the right idea. Take your checklists in and pick out the cards that you want. It's really nice because you can actually, in a lot of those binders, you can see multiple copies of the cards available and you can pick the best one. Some of the guys, some of the sellers, they will price them a little bit differently based on the condition. Some of the sellers will just say every card in this binder is $4 or whatever. Here you see a bunch more great vintage. And now here I am as an adult. Vintage is very interesting to me. So whenever I'm buying stuff for my PC, I tend to kind of lean towards vintage. In the past, I've kind of gone through phases where I've liked the ultra modern stuff, especially the gold rookie cards, PSA 10s, but I don't think I even so much as stopped it and looked at any modern cards today. There was one card that caught my eye, Clayton Kershaw PSA 10. It was $500. Last year at this time, it was about $800. Now, Kershaw has been out for the whole season. He's coming back, though, so he's a bona fide, surefire Hall of Famer, but I just don't know if it's going to go down a little more. It already has gone down $200 to $300. Maybe it'll go down a little more after he retires. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully he comes back and is good for the Dodgers. They need him badly with that rotation the way it's looking right now. And we continue on. A lot of these guys I remember from previous years at the National. All these different folks. There was one lady that remembered when I bought her 51 Bowman set like 3 years ago. The 51 Bowman set with mantle and mace. I think the mantle was a PSA 2, the mace was a PSA 3 or 4. We did a set break on that. That was pretty fun. Heritage Auction, here is their booth. Lots of stuff on display there. All right, so at this stage of the game, we're about a quarter of the way through the whole show. You can see there's a whole bunch of stuff on display here. And you can also just kind of, maybe this video might be interesting for the people watchers out there. You can see what people are bringing to the shows. There's that guy with a big backpack full of stuff. You'll see people walk around with their cases, their Pelican cases for their slabs. Here's a bunch of newer wax. There you see the hot new 2024 Topps Chrome, $239 per box, which is a little over what it should be. I think you can get that on block cards for $229. I had heard that most of the wax prices at the National were raised like 5 to 10% at most sellers' booths. So if you're going to be buying any sealed wax, it might be better just to maybe go the eBay route and try that way. Some people brought some old stuff. Like there's some random 91 Stadium Club. What was that, Otis Nixon? Some booths cleaner than others. Some booths immaculately organized. Other booths messy. Some booths looking like a flea market. Some booths looking like a museum. Here we have more folks with their big signs, "We pay for cards." And you can just see I really got my workout in. I didn't check how many steps that I took at the National, but man, maybe I should look it up and put that in my second video. There you saw a nice big camera setup by probably another influencer or somebody that has a YouTube channel or some sort of feed for cards. There's a nice Mike Trout. That would look good on the wall. Mike Trout. I think it was only $6.99. I missed the price tag there, but it was an auto. There's Jake the Viking from Mr. Beast. I should have stopped and said something to him. He's a former cast member of the Mr. Beast team, and he, I guess, got let go by Mr. Beast. And I don't know. I used to watch Mr. Beast when he was on the show, so that was pretty cool. I didn't stop and say anything to him, obviously, but I wonder what he's into. Is he into baseball cards? That would be pretty awesome. Do a little collab with a former Mr. Beast member. I always knew that Mr. Beast liked baseball. So, of course, if you don't know who Mr. Beast is, he is the most subscribed YouTube channel. He has over 300 million subscribers. And, yeah, he grew up loving baseball. So I wonder if he liked baseball cards. It'd be kind of cool if he would do something with baseball cards. Could you imagine his video at the National? He'd come in here and spend 10 million easy. Here is the PSA booth. Going back to Mr. Beast, his you can see his video being, I bought every card at the National. And then his, like, he always puts his face on his thumbnail with his mouth like wide open, like all surprised. That would take a lot of money though to buy every card at the National. I don't even like buying out an entire booth at the National would be very, very costly, very expensive, as a lot of these booths had cards that were literally tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Here you see a bunch of cases. That looked like an old 87 Topps case up there. There's some 1990 Topps. My brother was here. I did not run into him though. He went super early. He went to a flea market early, and I went later, but I didn't see him there today. I don't know if he's going tomorrow or not. I gotta check in with him and see if he picked up anything good. We were texting back and forth a little bit earlier in the day, and we had both, I think, our first couple hours and not bought a single card. In fact, I think I didn't buy a card until like 3 hours in. My first game plan whenever I go to the National, and maybe this, if you're sitting there watching this, this will kind of give you a kind of a game plan or just some insight on how you would attack this whenever you go, if you haven't gone yet. Or if you have gone, what's your plan of attack? How do you handle this? Do you just go booth to booth and just start buying? There's some nice Sandy Koufax rookie cards. That one's on my brother's list. I'll take a little photo of those for him. But my plan whenever I go to the National is I walk the entire floor. I go up and down every row, and I try to look for the cards that I'm targeting. And then I will, in my notes section of my phone, I will note exactly how much those cards are and where they're located. So there's little row markers up on the pillars as we go along. I don't know if you can see them up there. It's like MM29 or whatever. Little partition here is blocking us off so we can't get through. So we're gonna have to go around. Here's some junk wax. Man, I got some filthy looks at the National back in 2018. I think the last time it was in Cleveland was 2018. I got some filthy looks because I was buying stuff like this back then for like $5 a box. I don't know why, but I feel like I had a shopping cart and I was pushing it filled with that crap. And people were just giving me the most hateful looks. And I was like, why is everyone hating on my 87 Topps? I bought a lot of 87 Topps that year. It may have been 60 boxes. I can't remember. But I think it was like $12 a pop. I used to buy a bunch of those. I used to have like, I feel like 10 different Patreon tiers back in the day, and that just got a little too much to handle. So I kind of streamlined it into just 3 and made things a lot easier. I eliminated the junk wax. There's some upper deck boxes. The upper deck boxes were wide ranging in price. I was surprised. The lowest that I saw was $275 for a sealed high number box. Then I saw some that were like $400 for the exact same box. So you got to really watch your prices. And that's why I like to walk around. You can, like, for example, one of the cards I was after was a Jackie Robinson. And I probably saw maybe 8 to 10 48 leaf Jackie Robinson rookie cards. And I'll tell you what, some of them were the same grades. I kind of focused in on a PSA 3 Jackie after looking at all the prices. The prices on the PSA 3 Jackie were anywhere between 12 grand and about 15 grand. And here's the Golden booth right here. Ken Golden, is that him up there at the top hanging out? I don't know. That'd be kind of cool if he was up there on his pedestal looking over everybody. But yeah, so I found one that I really wanted, and then I noticed it had like a little blemish. And then you see that, you take some pictures of it, you go around and you look at the other ones, and you try to find the one that is the best match for what you want. Some are going to be a little off center, some are going to have some print issues, some might have wax on the back. Saw that on a couple of the cards I was looking at. And here we go, continuing on down. It looks like I'm walking real slow. I feel like I was walking double the speed of everybody else, by the way. I was hustling, but it still kind of looks slow. There's also comic books there, publications. Guys standing around talking. And again, now it's probably like 4:30 in this video, where it was really starting to clear out. And that's why I decided to just do it as a walk around. Folks sitting at tables like that person right there, looking for those good deals. There's some mantles, some jacked up mantles. Like, those cards are in awful shape, and they're like still like $29,000. That card is probably trimmed, ran over with a bus, tossed off a building and looked that way. And someone also drew glasses on the one mantle. As we continue on, what do we got next? Some of these stores you might recognize. Looks like that is a consignment where they sell high-end stuff at auction. PSA vault over on the left. Working our way down here. A lot of people standing around looking at comps like that guy was. I'll tell you one thing about the National, service was not very good. You had to kind of sometimes walk from place to place looking for service. I don't know why, but the Wi-Fi, I couldn't use PayPal on the Wi-Fi. Every time I would connect, I'd go to like send money, and I would just get a spinny wheel. So PayPal didn't work at all. I didn't use any PayPal. I ended up paying. I bought from 2 different sellers today, and that's it. One I paid with cash, and the guy seemed not too happy because I paid with all 20s, which took forever. And the other, luckily, took a card reader. Now, if you take a credit card in there, some of these folks do take credit cards, but they're going to ask you to cover the credit card fee, which is like 3%, which kind of stinks. Here we see some junk wax. This guy seems to always be at the National. Lots of packs. I've seen him, I think, every year. I don't know what's in these, but some totes being wheeled off somewhere. That guy's waiting around for somebody with his plaque that he just picked up. Some guy there checking out some high-end stuff. Golden vintage auctions on the right. Got the red carpet rolled right down the middle. This guy taking a lunch break, having his wife and daughter work his booth, it looks like. I feel like at the National, if you ever are going to sell at the National, you need to have a whole staff. So I don't know if it's going to be your family or get some friends together, but you probably need to have, I feel like most people had at least 4 or 5 people working, because earlier you couldn't even really see the tables. It was kind of shoulder to shoulder. Like this one right here is wide open right now, but earlier you couldn't even really get in there. There was a couple cards I wanted to look at a lot of these booths, and I had to just kind of like wait until they moved. Hey, Jake the Viking again. There he is. Shout out to him. I'm going to have to go check his YouTube channel or his Instagram and see what the heck he was after. I know that, I don't know. Is he friends with Logan Paul? I don't know. Maybe he's into the whole Pokemon thing. There wasn't a lot of Pokemon here. There was some. Not a lot of Pokemon. Not a lot of hockey. There was some people that specialize in hockey, but I feel like the majority was baseball. Maybe I'm blind. There's this guy. What's he doing? He's got a microphone, doing some special show or something, doing a challenge. That's actually kind of cool. The only bit I heard was, okay, your challenge is find 3 players from the 1990s. which I guess is a good challenge because, like I said earlier, there was not a whole lot of 1990s cards represented in these showcases because, honestly, they're not going to probably sell that well. They were really overprinted. Who's going to buy who's a great rookie from a 1991 Ivan Rodriguez Bowman PSA 10? Probably there's not a lot of people buying that. And you have limited space on your tables, so you want to put your best of your best out. Stuff like that may have been there in the bargain bins, like the slab boxes for 10 or 20 bucks, but like I said, I didn't have time to go through those. If you ever do plan to do the National the right way, you're going to need multiple days. I would say you're probably going to need, if you wanted to really, really dig deep and find the great deals, you're probably going to need 3 days. I'm going to have 2 days, so my game plan here is kind of day one, learn where everything is, get at least one target card accomplished, which I did, and leaving, I felt like I did leave some stuff on the table. I made some great offers, I thought, offers that were even over comps, but was turned down. I don't know if you can hear that bird fly by. I'm actually sitting in a park. I got tired of driving, so I decided to just do a voiceover. Some random crow flying overhead. There's not birds flying around the National, folks, trust me. I didn't see any birds inside. Here we're going to work our way over. We got the food court over to the right. I heard the food options were very limited and poor, so I actually made sure I ate before going to the National. There was actually a whole bunch of food options there. The problem was everybody was hungry, so the lines were very long. I will tell you that. So if you go to the National this weekend, if you haven't been there yet, make sure you pack a sandwich. I ate before, and then I also brought a bottle of Gatorade in. They don't check bags, by the way, at all. You could bring a 5-course meal in here. No one would care. Here we see a bunch of great stuff in the showcases, none of it labeled. I have no idea what any of those were. There's one scary moment here coming up. You're not going to see it because I wouldn't film it, but over in this area, there is a man who had a heart attack. Very scary. So all of a sudden, I met one of our subscribers. His name was Nathan. So shout out to Nathan R. Really cool to meet you. But while we were talking, one of the medics came by and started screaming, we need a doctor. Help, we need a doctor. Someone's having a heart attack. So drove by, and there's a guy just laid out on the floor. And just people were all kind of gathered around. So hopefully he's okay. He did seem to be conscious. But anyway, back to the video. So this second area here, I would say that probably like 65 to 70% of all the tables are in the other big room. And then you probably have about 30% of the tables back over here. I did notice that this area did seem to be a little warmer. Not much, maybe like 5 degrees warmer. Walking around this year, I did not break a sweat like I did last year at the National. Last year, the big headline coming out of Chicago was air conditioning breaks on a 90-degree day. And definitely there was parts of that National where it was a little toasty. I remember buying a Luis Robert jersey to wear because I didn't want my sweatshirt showing all my sweat. Terrible stuff. But anyway, pretty comforting here. But here's the big autograph pavilion. There is so many players on the autograph checklist. If you look through, man, it's like a who's who of baseball big names, Hall of Famers, a bunch of stars. There's a heavy contingent of Cleveland Guardians and Indians players here since the Nationals in Cleveland, after all. But I didn't go for any autographs. I did look at how much they cost, and they were a little expensive. Certain players. Marian Rivera was one that I was thinking about going after. He was $300 to get something signed. Just seems to be a little too much. Albert Pujols, about $400. I guess it's worth the experience to go and meet them in person, get a picture taken. But anyway, here we go. As we continue on, there's plaques, and there's just so much stuff. I don't know how you feel watching this video. Do you feel overwhelmed yet? because, man, imagine going through all of this video footage as if you were there and stopping and looking at each and every showcase. And then also imagine 2 to 3 times the amount of people there, because like I said, right now it's almost 5 o'clock at the time that I'm filming this, and the National closed at 6. So there's a lot less people in there, but man, just imagine it's tough. So we're gonna head back tomorrow. We're gonna be at the Whatnot booth at 10 a.m. if all goes well. Hopefully we can get there on time without any lengthy parking delays or anything. So we're breaking from the Whatnot booth tomorrow from 10 to 12, and then after that we're gonna go around and try to get some more cards. We'll go around to this next section right here. There's probably been another row or two of these regular seller booths, and then the other half of the room, you're gonna see a bunch of, I guess, corporate stuff, like Beckett is over there. Hey, look, it's the first time I saw a jumbo box of 2018 update. I missed that the first time around. So if you go, you're gonna have to go around multiple times, honestly, because there's stuff that you will miss. That update jumbo box, $1,500, not a bad price. Last summer, they were about $2,000 per jumbo box. Of course, Acuna is hurt now, but Ohtani and Soto is still doing their thing. There's Fitterman Sports. I feel like I bought something from Fitterman Sports before. I can't remember. A lot of these sellers I've seen now, last 5-6 years at the National. I've been to every one since 2018, starting in 2018 with the YouTube channel. I actually made videos at all of them too. The only one that we're missing, I think, was the 2020 one. I believe was canceled because of COVID. Here's a guy just got a fresh signature on that basketball. Purple shirt in the way. And now white shirt's in the way. Really crowded over there. A lot of people brought their own chairs to sit down and wait as they awaited the players to come and sign. I always like that particular booth there. I'll probably take my girlfriend Sophia to that booth tomorrow, the one with all the jerseys and sweatshirts. They always have a lot of cool stuff there for pretty cheap. I saw some nice quarter zip Yankees jerseys. I think they retail for $70, and they had them for $25. Unfortunately, none my size. There's some dude walking around carrying a giant, what is that, signed picture, I guess. Pete Rose right there, plaque. A lot of these guys have man caves, and those plaques definitely are going to look good in a man cave. I don't have a man cave. I guess I could, but it's completely filled with all the inventory for the Jabs Family YouTube channel. All the extra cases and stuff go downstairs. What do we got here? An empty table. Man, I saw that empty table the first time. I'm like, these tables are probably so expensive to rent. Who just leaves their table unfilled? I don't know. Some rando, I would imagine, might want to just pop behind there and start selling their stuff. Throw out all their slabs. I think that actually happened at the TriStar Houston show. There was some random guy there. He had like 10 cards out on the table. I was like, there's no way this guy paid for a table and that's all he brought. He must just be kind of squatting. A table squatter. Here we see Nothing But Vintage there booth. And then on the other side, we're going to make our way over there in just a minute to wrap this one up. Let's see what else. I think that may have been some influencer back there. I don't know who he is. Bearded guy. Some people wearing some Pirate stuff. I saw, I think, 3 Skeens jerseys. I didn't see a lot of Paul Skeens cards, though. I don't know if they just get bought immediately. I saw his PSA 10 Chrome Auto for $3,000. PSA 10, pretty sick card. That last seller had some modern stuff. I think I got some video of some of the Jackson Holiday Fun Face cards that they had graded, which is pretty nice. So much memorabilia. Make our way over here. Now over here it's the Breakers Pavilion. You're going to see in a little bit a bunch of Breakers breaking. They're just all set up breaking cards from the National. Heck, some of you may have even tuned into some of their streams watching them break stuff. And we've got this row here. And I think for the rest of the way, I'm just gonna tune out a little bit and just let you watch without my narration for a little while.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, sure. Say hello. I'm just doing a walk around to just kind of like show everybody what it's like. Yeah, it's super busy. It's almost done and it's still crowded. All right, nice meeting you guys. We'll see you.
Mind if I get a picture too?
Sure, good.
I'm glad you made it out today. I know yesterday you said maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow too.
Sweet, thank you.
Thanks a lot. See you. Tomorrow morning.
looks like Boxy. Look at him. He's sexy. He's sexy. Weighing in at 5'9", 209. Chase. Wow.
National versus the $700 card right now. All you gotta say in the chat.
So there you go, almost a complete, just unedited one take. I did stop it once. We had someone come up and ask for a picture, which was really awesome. I'm very flattered, thank you very much. And I accidentally stopped the video, but started up right after that. So an unedited, unfiltered walk around altogether. It took me about 45 minutes to walk around in an uncrowded national without stopping to look at anything. So just imagine if you were there, you would need all 8 hours, 10 to 6. We will be back at the National tomorrow. We'll be there, Sophia and I, from 10 a.m. till, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe 3 or 4. I don't think I'll need all the time tomorrow. I'll probably only need a couple hours. There's maybe one more card I want to grab, one more big PC card tomorrow, and then maybe also I'm looking to grab a couple boxes. I went back to find some boxes that I'd seen earlier, but I could not find them again. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack here. And as we leave here, we'll show you the food options. There's beer and pizza. I heard the pizza is extremely expensive, but lots of food options, but you're gonna pay an arm and a leg for it, and you're gonna wait in line and then probably not be able to find anywhere to sit. So pack a lunch if you go to the National, that's my tip. And we're gonna make our way out of here. And thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening on this Friday night. A little late upload here. We'll get this up around 10 p.m. Eastern time or so. We'll be back tomorrow for the day 1 of the National, my day 1. Actually day 3 of the National, but my day 1 pickups, and I will have a second video for you as well. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday videos from the National. Hit that subscribe button, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you all later. Good night, everybody.